Well, she just logged back on, so
yeah.
Hopefully we'll get her to work here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. I do believe
Connecting to audio.
live. Okay. Awesome. Well, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And thank you, Jesus. It's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where one of my most favorite shows, Sisters of Leisure, with Tracy and Michelle. We're having a few little technical difficulties trying to get Tonya Johnson on the line, but we will work on getting that done. Take it away, Tracy and Michelle.
Hello, everyone. Happy October. The season is definitely changing. It is getting a little brisk and chilly outside. My name is Tracy, and I'm just one half of Sisters of Leisure, where we are living every day and seeking and understanding real events.
And I am Michelle, the little sister, and I am just really excited to start the show today. Hopefully Tonya can click in because we were able to experience a fun night of her talk show. She's an award-winning singer. She's a comedian, and she is the host of Tonya Johnson's talk show. So I hope she can go ahead and click in. But Tracy, let's just talk about last night because it was so much fun. I laughed and had a really good time.
I did too. First of all, I didn't know going in. I didn't know what to expect because I've never really went to a live talk show before. Yeah. So I was super excited to kind of see exactly what topics were going to come up.
Yeah,
I think she's ready. Okay,
hey,
great.
Tonya, you're muted.
Yeah, unmute.
Okay.
Okay. So I did your introduction, Tonya. It is a pleasure to have you on Sisters of Leisure because like Tracy and I was talking about, we had so much fun last night enjoying your talk show, your guest panel. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to go ahead and do this talk show.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tonya. As you all know, I decided to do the talk show in really 2017. I was doing stand-up comedy. Shamia, who you saw on stage with me, Shamia Singleton, she said, Tonya, I'm going to start a comedy show and I want you to be a stand-up comedian. And I was like, I'm funny, but I don't know if I can get on stage and do that. Hello?
Yeah, we're here. We're listening.
Okay. Yeah. And I said, I don't know if I can get on stage and do that. And when she told me it was somewhat of not just a performance, but a competition, I guess that amped me up. And I stole the show and I won first place on that. And then I continued to do like a couple of more stand-up comedy routines. And I even opened for someone, I don't remember his name, but I opened for someone who like was kind of like a big deal in Atlanta, and he was coming to Rome, and they were like open for him. But to me, I fluked, like I didn't do a good job. And through that, it led me to the point I'm at now. I was like, I don't like being on stage by myself. And I was just talking to people, and I noticed that when I converse with people, that I'm my funniest.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing like the 85 South show and stuff like that. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I said, that's me. That's me. I could do that. Yes. And it's just been in my head for like a year or whatever. And I was finally like, you know what? I went through so much. And I have ADHD too. So what happened was, I was told that they're going to phase out of the position I'm in at my job. And I hate school. So I was deflecting. I was like, I hate it so much with a passion that I need to find my passion, my real passion in life. And that was it. And I said, I'm going to stick to that and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to school. If I to the point where it gives me anxiety so bad that I cry, it's time for me. I've been through school, I've been through college, I really have, but it's hard for me. It's hard for me to learn than others. And people are like, oh, you're so smart. I'm not as smart as people think I am. Like, I have common sense and I have street smart. I do have some book smart because I am a professional at my job, but I hate school. Like, it's hard for me to learn and retain information at this big age and this ADD. I don't have ADHD, I have ADD. So
Mhm.
it's hard for me. So I was just crying and I was like, Lord, what am I going to do? And I just thought of this. And I've never been an entrepreneur, I don't think. Maybe I have, who knows? I mean, I do so many different things, but because I sing, I can act, I've been in plays. I won a talent show, a national talent show for Atrium, which is the company that owns my hospital. They did a national talent show, and I won first place on that last year too. So I
Yeah.
do a good bit. Was that a long-winded answer?
No, but listen, because I feel you when you said that about, not going back to school, and not to diss anyone that's in school, but it's always great to work with your passion and to work with your talent. And it was just so refreshing to hear you say, listen, I had to do an evaluation. What am I going to go back to school that's going to bring me anxiety, bring me sadness, bring me stress? Or am I going to go ahead and it's better to bring stress and anxiety on a passion than on something that you dislike, right? So
Yep.
I just loved it. I love that you said that.
Yeah.
So what had me going is when you just kind of talked about your own self in a funny way. I thought that was the cutest. It was like a skit to me, I guess you could say, but not a skit, but you were just really, you were saying truths about you. You know what I mean? And I like that realness about how you talked about yourself.
I learned that from being bullied in school.
Mm-hmm.
I was bullied, and I figured if I joked about myself, nobody else can joke about me. What are you going to say after I'm done talking about myself? And I made it so funny because I've been hilarious since I was a kid. And so that helped me to, it just molded me into who I am. And it helped me cope with what was going on with me in school. So with them doing that, I was like, if you know yourself, nobody can tell you about you.
Mm-hmm.
If you accept your flaws, you accept yourself, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
I don't leave them any room to say anything.
Yeah.
And I like that because we're not here to judge anyway.
Right.
I'm not your judge. I can't put you in heaven or hell.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm definitely not your judge, at all. So why would it make any sense for even people to even talk about people in the first place?
Because I noticed that, it's so funny because so I have a really quick little story. So I told my son, we went to the fair and I told him I didn't want him to do the basketball game because nobody was doing it. And I was just so against it, right? But he begged me, and I let him do it. He made the shot. He won a big old teddy bear. The thing is someone would tell you real quickly, have you feeling a certain way about yourself? Have you make you feel doubting yourself?
Mm-hmm.
In all actuality, you have the talent, you have all that within you, but here I am on the outside talking, it's a scam. They going, I've seen it on 2020 Dayline, and the whole time it was really in him something passionate that he was able to really do and execute and have the result of what it was. So so tell us about that. Have you ever had the naysayers? Have you ever dealt with naysayers?
Somewhat. Somehow I have the gift of gab, and really, I make it sound so good that they don't have, like I said, I don't leave room for people to try to be like, I don't know about that. We have some negative Nancy's around, but I don't let them get to me. I really haven't had naysayers about this particular thing or anything really, because people just seem to believe in me and they push me to believe in myself more than I ever did. And I don't know. I just been blessed like that. I can't think of a person that's really just like, I don't know about that. You shouldn't do that. And then if I think they're going to do it, I don't tell anybody. Because if you don't tell anybody your business, they don't have an opinion.
They don't.
I like that. I love the conversation. Me and my sister and I, we called you today. And I just love the conversation we had because I was like, this lady is amazing. I met you through a friend,
Mhm.
really dear friend of mine, and I was just really totally impressed
Thank you.
with what you have and where it could go.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
I really was. I really, really enjoyed myself. And how do you come up with topics? I mean, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world anyway.
What I do is my method was, if nothing is on my mind, if you scroll social media and you see what people are talking about, you think, I could spin that. And how can I ask a question in that direction? I would like to know that myself. That's a good topic. Like I could just be, most of my material comes from either the top of my head or life experiences or things that I think other people want to know or talk about, because just because I'm not going through it doesn't mean that some people aren't, you know? So I was like, I wonder if people would like this. So what I did was, I had like 50 topics, 50, a set of like 50 to 60 notes in my phone. I put them all in my notepad, and I set my daughter and her best friend down. My daughter's 26 and her best friend is like 26 or 25, I think. And I know that the material I was going to have, that age group was more so my target, because they are like hip to what's going on now and what people are discussing in the world more than I am, because my news feed on my social media is going to be totally different from theirs. And I wanted to target older groups too. I had that down pat, so I wanted to get to their age group. And I'm like, let me read all these to y'all, and y'all tell me what's the best of the best. And I put hearts beside each of the ones that were the best. They was like, oh yeah. And if I saw them, their facial expressions or them sitting there thinking of it, I said, that's what I want. That's what I want right there. That's going to lead to some thinking. That's going to lead to not really a debate, but it's going to get people talking.
Mhm.
And I was like, what, just icebreakers, good conversation starters. But the hardest part for me was how to start the show, how to end it. I did not have a plan really. I really winged it last night. I had a little bit of something, but as y'all saw, there was some flaws there. Um, I was only able to ask like 5 to 6 questions, and I had so many more, but those were the main ones. And 3 of them came off the top of one of my panelists' head right there at the place. And I wrote them down real quick, and those were the first 3 questions I asked, what he told me that was on his mind and his heart. And I had been asking him that for like 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm gonna give y'all a list of questions. What else would y'all like to say? Is there any input, like what's going on with you? And it's going to be generalized. It's not going to be personalized. I do not want personal things on the show. I just want generalized answers and questions or whatever, or topics. And he basically set it off. And everything that falls in my lap, I look at it as that's God. That's God. I cuss a little bit, but I love God, and I put him first. And I even put a prayer in the group chat. Nobody said amen, but I know they were touching and agreeing. But I would like for people to be like, amen, when I say something, so I'll know we're all on the same page. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to have prayer once I got there, because it was going to be noisy, chaotic. I was going to be busy. They were going to be talking and everything. And, so I put the prayer in the group chat. And, regardless of the mistakes that were made, it was a good show. I just know now to keep it less chaotic and what boundaries to create. And I know to lower my alcohol consumption.
Because when you're starting something new anyway, it's going to flow how it flows. And you gotta then learn how to pull stuff back, what not to do, what you could do, that's how you make your adjustments, if you will, and learn.
Because we're all doing, because that's one reason why Tracy and I do Sisters of Leisure. It's for the person who is in the journey, maybe beginning the journey, because I feel like we have to, celebrate the beginning of the journeys, the middle of the journeys, all steps of the journey, because, we see, these celebs and all that kind of stuff, and nothing against it, but we see it at the
Talk.
where so it's good to go ahead and shine the light on someone as talented as you, as funny as you know what I'm saying, on your talk show, because I wouldn't even look at it as mistakes. I would just learning lessons, just something that you might have to pivot and adjust and everything. So you had a panel of people yesterday. So how did you pick your panel?
In my mind, what I tell myself is don't look at other podcasts, don't do this, don't do that. The one thing I took from other podcasts that I like, that I don't really listen to them, but I sing them visually, like, they have so many people on their stage. And I was like, let me do that then. Let's see how that works. But I picked people that I knew were blunt, that were not scared of anybody else's opinion, that were go-getters, and they, are somewhat reserved in the community, or like, I can't describe it. I just wanted blunt, funny people like myself, but that are not afraid to say what's on their mind to people.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. And I was like, I got it. I got absolutely what I asked for. And it was hilarious and it was good. It was good conversation. We strayed a little bit away from the topics, but it was so wonderful. It was a great experience, but I'm my biggest critic.
Yeah.
So I have to sit myself down and be like, okay, look, Tonya, you gonna clean this up. But I knew this was my rough draft.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew, and I loved every minute. I'm still on a high from it. Like when I woke up and talked to you guys, I was like, oh my God. Because to me, y'all are celebrities. I'm like, they are, and I'm gonna be on this show. And I'm so excited. She called me this morning, and she was there reviewing the show last night and she loved it. I'm just telling people, and they're like, oh
I'm
my
laughing. You know what? Don't you say that.
Please don't ever say that again. Because we just regular people having regular experiences, just like everybody.
They don't know that.
Well, so because I was because we were social media is getting this. Listen, our phones are now in our hands, and I was trying to take a little nap, and I was thinking about your show last night, but I had turned on social media and I saw someone else, and I was like, you know what, Tracy said something yesterday that was important. She said, you know what, her show should be on TikTok. That's what she said. And I was like, you know what? And then I was laying in the bed. I was like, because that was just, and so, that's why she called, because we was just sitting. That's what she said. And then,
brainstorming.
Yeah, she was just brainstorming. That's why she called, like, because I was like, that would be kind of cool to be on TikTok. Because listen, what you're doing is exactly what people want to see, but they have it right there in their hand instead of watching it on television.
And you have like 18,000 followers. How did that happen for you?
Ooh. I went viral before I could get monetary gain from TikTok. I didn't know how to go about doing that, because they don't just hand it to you or tell you. You have to go and research how to monetize your TikTok, your Facebook, and all that. Like Facebook, you get invited to do it. So I've been monetized on Facebook. I have 8.3 thousand on Facebook and 18 on TikTok. But TikTok, I don't know what to do yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. What happened was my mother has a sister who was taken from my grandmother when she was 2 years old by the father of the child, which was my mother's father. Mm-hmm. They had not seen each other, or my mother never met her before. She was older than my mother. So it's been 60 years that she's basically been missing.
Oh, wow.
They reunited through a cousin. Okay, my mother's missing sister, her son had a girlfriend who just so happened to be from Rome. And they're all from Trenton, New Jersey.
Wow.
The cousin moved to Atlanta, and he ended up dating a girl or something. And the lady, he was like, do you know any Bullocks? She said, I know plenty of Bullocks where I'm from. And he said, well, on my mother's birth certificate, we're just now getting her birth certificate. They never had her birth certificate. He said that it says that her mother is Rosa Johnson, and her last name is Bullock. They named her Bullock, even though her name was not supposed to be Bullock. It was supposed to be Johnson. But through all of that, he found me on Facebook. I lost my mind. I lost my mind because I had been hearing about this woman since I was a kid. Like, I want to find my sister, and I was trying to help my mother through all the strings I could. That's before internet. This was in the early 90s that I was a kid trying to help my mom. And that's back when you couldn't even dial out without paying for it. Long distance, you had to pay for it. So Trenton, New Jersey, you had to pay for it. But mother remembered everything my grandmother ever told her about her sister. She was like, this is this and this. This is where I last saw her. This is where he took her. And my grandmother was bipolar schizophrenic. So she had a nervous breakdown. And that's how they got her child, because she was in an institution there in Trenton, New Jersey. So he took the child, gave her to some kin people, and said, raise her. She don't need this child. She's unfit, whatever. Put this in this child's head. So my aunt does not know my grandmother at all. And my grandmother died before she could meet her, like 2 years, a year or two before we met my aunt, my new aunt. And yeah, that reunion, I filmed it. Just them getting out of the van. Y'all will see it on my TikTok. Just them getting out of the van and them seeing each other. My mother has a twin brother, so it's my mother, her twin brother, me and my sisters. Like, basically the immediate family was there, and we were just, you can hear me screaming, "That's my auntie!" And everybody on TikTok like, "Oh my God, I wish you would stop all that screaming." You people are so negative no matter what you do. And I'm like, that's my sister. That's how we say it here.
Yeah.
We talk country. And I'm like, oh my God. That's how I found. And so yeah, that went viral and it got over 1 million views. And that's how I got all of my followers. They started looking at all the rest of my stuff. So yeah, it was a big deal.
Wow. I think I seen that because
Yeah.
you look so familiar to me. And I told a friend that you remind me, y'all would kind of remind me of each other. Her name was Rita Moore.
Girl, listen. I mean, ma'am, listen. Woo. Did you say Raina?
Yeah.
I can't say what she was to me and who she is to me or whatever. I was just thinking about her and gonna talk to her, but I think yeah, we had a little spat.
Yeah,
but that I love her. I love her.
Yes.
I love her, and we are very much alike.
Yeah.
And she sings, and she's just so well spoken, and she's just Marina, you know.
Yeah.
And in high school, she was popular. I mean, like, really popular.
Wow.
And everybody loved Rena, and they still do. She's just a great person, but I miss her. If you talk to her till I miss her.
I sure will. I definitely will do that. Yes.
So, so what do you like? So in your talk show, you know, getting interviews. What is one of the things that you don't like? You know, because we talk. You know, my sister and I, we talk all the time. We have our podcast, and sometimes it's a difficult time to kind of get your guests to talk. You're a very easy one to talk to, but have you, you know, so well, you know what? But you just started your talk show, so I was about to say, so have you had that guest that's like, oh goodness, what they gonna say, what they gonna do?
Only because I prepared myself for anything. Somehow I'm at that level in my mind, like, if this happens, bring it down, shut it down. Or, you know, I didn't have any negativity, like, thinking wise. I was thinking all positive. I've conversed with most of these people on social media a lot or whatever, and I see what they're about. And except Weston Price, him, we don't talk much, but I know he's very knowledgeable. He has a lot of common sense, and he's very funny. And he's just a great person to talk to. Him and Day, they are just, as a matter of fact, those two, Day and Weston, we call them Wet on the show. Them two are a podcast team.
Okay.
They've been doing this for years, and I'm sure you could tell by the way they were acting on stage. You could tell they were well versed in the atmosphere, you know. but they are called Two Live Crew. I don't know if they still do it or not, but I seen them do it before. And I had said then, this was years ago, I was like, oh, wow, I would love to be on their show or something, or them be on my show. And it finally came to be, and I was so excited to have them. I was like, if I could just get them, because they're so busy. Like, he owns a lot of businesses. Kevin Lynch is a promoter. The one with the hat you saw. Weston, he works one or two jobs. Like, he just does his thing. Everybody up there has like a job plus something, you know. So for them to get up there, everybody really to get up there was just such a boss move for me, you know, because I felt
I love your audience. Your audience was well versed too.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
yeah.
diverse. Very
Yeah, they
diverse.
were diverse and most of them very educated too. And they just not that education has anything to do with common sense or your mindset. It's just I love that they are the type who pay attention. I swear I advertise more at my job than I did anywhere. But that's who you saw, a lot of my coworkers.
They came out, and they came out to support
Yeah.
the Tonya Talk Show. And I
Yeah.
love that's
Thank
when
you.
you know that you have people that are pouring into you,
Oh, yeah.
that respect you and will come out.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that the date that I set the show for, the fair, which is a big deal in this town, was the last day of it, and the last day everybody goes. So I'm like, oh crap, I have booked this show to where there's somewhere else to go, and then two other parties were having. It was a surprise party and another party and the fair. I said, okay, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, and it was nice.
Yes.
It was nice.
Yeah. So how can people get in touch with you, and what can they look forward to seeing you do coming up?
Okay, I'm going to have so to get in touch with me on Facebook, I am the Tonya Johnson Show. On Instagram, I am Tonya Johnson 79. On YouTube, I am MST Johnson 1979. On TikTok, I'm Tonya Johnson 58. Do y'all need my phone number?
No, we don't need to do all that.
Okay. So that's how you get in touch with me on social media. And as for my future things, I will be doing a lot of TikTok now. Thank you guys for the idea. I had it in mind, but I didn't know how to go about it. But when y'all said do lives, that was it. I already got my first guest because of you guys. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
There was a guy there that was not able to get his story out, and I feel like he wasn't being heard, and I think he needs to be heard, and I want to interview him. He will be my first guest, and I'm not going to say a name because I never tell who my guests are going to be. I'm just like, watch. Just watch.
Yeah.
So that's going to be like a spinoff of the show.
Okay, awesome.
That'd be great. That'd be really, really good because it's definitely, definitely refreshing and fun to see that, definitely see that.
And my next show is Saturday, November the 11th. Doors open at 8:30 and the show starts at 9.
Okay.
And at the same location at the Bedcard?
Yes, Bedcard 301 Darlington Drive, Rome, Georgia 30165. Be there or hear about it.
Exactly. That part.
We appreciate you, Tonya Johnson. Make sure y'all follow Tonya on all her social media platforms. Now she will be going live on TikTok coming soon. And you just be watching out for that. And we just thank y'all for watching Sisters of Leisure. I hope y'all stay warm, stay safe, because it's getting cold outside.
My birthday Thursday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. If you voted
49.
No.